Hello everyone, my name is Ian Jim, and welcome to IJP Graphics, where anyone can learn many ways to do graphic designing. Our project for today is how to make an apple turn into a water tank apple. The first thing we need to do is to prepare an image of an apple. Then duplicate it by pressing Ctrl or Command plus J. After go to the adjustment layer icon and select curve. Then select the curve adjustment icon and drag down the center point of the curve to darken the image and create a shadow and better contrast. Then press Ctrl plus Alt plus Shift plus E to create a merge layer. Then click any selection tools to make the select subject icon appears. Then press select subject to make a selection. To make a further adjustment to the selection, you can use any selection tools to remove and add any wanted or unwanted areas of a selection. Pen tool are much more precise in this kind of action. By making a selection, you can press Ctrl plus Shift plus Enter to add areas of selection, or press Ctrl plus Alt plus Enter to remove unwanted areas of selection. After press the mask icon to remove the background from the selection. Then click the layer mask icon and select Properties and click Select and Mask. To make the edges of the selection much more settled, you can make an adjustment by dragging the sliders of Smooth, Feather, and Contrast to make it balance. Then press Ctrl or Command plus J to duplicate the layer. After click the Add Layer. Then select the Gradient tools and click the Gradient to edit. To change the colors, you can click the sliders. And into the properties, you can select the color you want. After click OK. Then click and drag to create the gradient effect. This layer will serve as the background of the main image. The next step is to duplicate the layer and desaturate it by pressing Ctrl plus Shift plus U. After go to the blending mode and change normal to screen. Then hide the below layer to check whether the first layer image is already transparent. After click the first layer and press Ctrl or Command plus L to go to level adjustment. Drag both slider to enhance the contrast of the image. Then after unhide the below layer. Now we will start revealing the transparent part of the apple by using brush tools. Make sure the foreground is black and select the mask icon of the layer and brush the stem and leaves to hide the transparency. After go to the below layer and select the mask icon. Then brush the half of the apple to reveal the transparency. After drag the image of a slice apple in the work area. Select any selection tools and click the Select Subject to make a selection. After press and Ctrl or Command plus J to make a copy from the selection. Delete the old slice apple layer and select the slice apple layer and press Ctrl or Command plus T to transform it. Drag the points and allow the image to be fit in the center part of the apple, making it a part of the original apple itself. Don't forget to drag the slice apple layer below the first layer, so that it will appear that a slice is on top of the original. Next step is filling up the apple tank with water. Drag the water image into the workplace and make a selection to remove the background. After press Ctrl or Command plus J to duplicate the selected water image. Then delete the old image layer. Press Ctrl or Command T to transform the image and make it fit to the tank itself. Press Ctrl or Command while dragging any points of the image. After press Ctrl or Command, then click the first layer mask icon to make a selection. Then go back to the water image layer and click the layer mask. Then select the brush tool and make sure the foreground color is black and brush the above area of the water to hide it and make it look like the tank is filled with water. After decrease the brush opacity and increase the brush size. Then brush it below of the top edge of the water to make the image more transparent. And also you can decrease the opacity of the layer so it will look more transparent like water. After drag the fish image into the workplace and make a selection to remove the background. After press Ctrl or Command plus J to duplicate the selected image. Then delete the old image layer. Press Ctrl or Command T to transform the image and position it inside the tank itself. Then place the fish image layer below the water image layer to make it look like the fish is inside the water. After press Ctrl or Command and click the fish image icon to make a selection. Then add new layer and place it below the fish image layer. After go to Edit, select Fill and choose Black as content color. This layer will serve as the shadow of the fish. Press Ctrl or Command T to transform the image and drag it down below. Position it based on the light source to make it a more realistic shadow. After add layer mask and select brush tool. Make sure the foreground color is black. Then brush away unwanted areas of the shadow. After decrease the opacity of the layer and go to filter, then blur, and select Gaussian blur. Then drag the slider of the radius to a point where the image will look like a real blur shadow. Then click OK. To refine the shadow, select the fish shadow mask icon and select brush and black is the foreground. Decrease the opacity and brush away part of the shadow to make a fading effect. Next step is to create a shadow for the apple tank itself. Add new layer and place it below the apple image layer. Then press Ctrl or Command and click the apple image icon to make a selection. After go to Edit, select Fill and choose black as content color. Then press Ctrl or Command T to transform the image and drag it down below. Position it based on the light source to match from the shadow of the environment itself. After decrease the opacity of the layer and go to Filter, then Blur, and select Gaussian Blur. Then drag the slider of the radius to a point where the image will look like a real blur shadow. Then click OK. After add new layer below the apple image layer and select brush tool. Make sure foreground color is black. Then brush the area below the apple to enhance the visibility of the shadow itself. After decrease the opacity of the layer to balance it. Next step is to brighten the apple. Select the apple layer and press Ctrl or Command plus L to go to level adjustment. Then drag the slider to the left to increase brightness, then click OK. After make a merge layer by pressing Ctrl plus Shift plus Alt plus E. Then select the new merge layer and go to Filter and select Camera Raw Filter. Make an adjustment by decreasing temperature and exposure, and increasing contrast and shadow, changing setting textures and clarity, and adding vibrance and saturation to enhance color of the image. After click OK. After finalizing the settings, this is the final result of our water tank apple image with a fighter fish swimming inside the tank. If you want to learn more, please comment down below which project you want me to do next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell icon. Please support the channel. God bless you all.